welcome to Late Night at the Lounge with your host, Jesse, here on Dead Money Sports. Just watched the conclusion of the Monday Night Football game where the Kansas City Chiefs proved again why they are arguably the best, if not the second best team in the NFL right now, with a dominating win, 28-7. Well, our week 8 of the NFL season went 3-2. Two very disappointing losses, with the Carolina Panthers not even showing up for that game, and the Pittsburgh Steelers leading at halftime and then just completely falling apart in the second half, particularly defensively, where they just couldn't stop Jordan Love in that Packers offense, and they got out and they stretched out their lead at the end, and we did not get the cover. It looked good, but the Steelers were also a top 5 selection, and as we've seen, other than last week, the top 5 selections are not a good place to be because they have only had one winning week. This week in the Circa Millions, the top 5 would go 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 1-2, 2-2, so 2-3 with the Steelers' loss. So again, another losing week for the top 5 in the Circa Millions. Some of these games were just outright bad. I mean, we were on the Chargers. That was Thursday Night Football. We talked about that. The Atlanta Falcons. I've said it before. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. I said it on the show. I did not like the Atlanta Falcons in that situation. I would not have laid the 7.5 points with them by any means necessary. They had over 1,427 people were on the Falcons. They lost 34-10. Brutal. Just disgusting performance by Atlanta at home, and now they're 3-4, staring up at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the NFC South. But I mean, I tried to warn everyone, and the big disappointment of that particular game this week is right here. Circa Survivor. 1,384 entries out of the remaining 4,210 were eliminated with the Falcons. They were the second most popular pick in Week 8, and they lost outright 34-10 to the lowly Miami Dolphins. Then next up, the Cincinnati Bengals, who were home favorites against the 0-7 Jets, we're out to a decent lead in that game, and then the Jets go ahead and score 23 points in the fourth quarter, and they are the third most popular pick in Survivor with 765 entries on the Bengals being eliminated. Nearly half, 50% of the remaining field of 4,000 were eliminated in this week, Week 8. $18.6 million to the winner or winners, and there's 2,000 entries left out of 18,600. We're just getting to Week 9, the midpoint of the season. Incredible. Let's go back to the Survivor Millions with our entries. We weren't on the Bengals or Jets. We were on New England. New England handled business. That was a really good pick for us. That was a kind of a no sweat. I did not like Dylan Gabriel in that situation against Mike Vrabel and their defense. The Patriots are really on fire right now, and they're playing Atlanta this week. Not a chance I would take Atlanta in that game. I think they're getting, what is it? We have the spread here. They're getting 5.5 points. No way. But there's also, I don't want to lay it with the Patriots because who knows, they've been so good lately. But again, just because a team's on a hot streak doesn't mean you got to fade them. If you believe they're going to win the game, think they're going to cover the spread. Giants and Eagles. The disappointing part of that game was Cam Scatabo getting hurt, and he's done for the year. That's devastating to the Giants. I think it took that wind out of their sails, and the Eagles just handled business on that one. I think they also they were pretty motivated after losing on primetime Thursday night football as a 8.5 point favorite. So they wanted to put an exclamation point on this game, and the Eagles did, winning 38-20, covering that 7.5 point spread. And if you can see here, the Giants were the more popular side with over 500 more entries on their side. So the contrarian side wins in that one. Bills and Panthers, boy, oh boy. Was my read on Andy Dalton wrong or what? I got to, when you step in it, I mean, boy, we really got blown out. And I mentioned it on the show that my biggest concern was that the Bills would get out to a big lead and force them to have to abandon the run and throw the ball depending on Andy Dalton, because that was not going to be a winning strategy. And when he fumbled the ball on the first drive of the game when they were going in for points, that potential touchdown would have been a difference in the outcome of this game, because I don't think the Panthers, I think, just looked deflated. Like New England or Buffalo got out on them in the second quarter, and now they had nothing left for them. I mean, Dalton throwing multiple interceptions and the fumble was just a killer. I really thought he would play better than that, but that was disappointing. And Buffalo being a big popular selection this week, is just even more disappointing, because that's just that many more people that got a point on us when I felt good about being on the contrarian side. Nope. Buffalo, when they win, they usually dominate. Bears and Ravens. I made a big deal about not using the Ravens after Lamar Jackson was announced out, because of us putting in our picks on Thursday, and I wasn't sure if he was going to play, so I left them off. But they were the last team out. They were the number 6 team. They were my last choice. And I mean, this line was nasty, but the fact that they still covered it anyway with Snoop Huntley, I said it's going to be one of those stupid situations where they end up covering the spread anyway, just because, and that's what happened. So all these people who thought they were getting a free ticket, the number 1 selection with the Bears, not only do the Bears not win the game with a backup quarterback playing for Baltimore, but they actually don't even cover the spread. And it was Caleb Williams making too many mistakes against this Baltimore defense that got a few of its players back from injury and made them a different team. San Francisco and Tennessee, or the Texans. I mean, where the hell was this offense last week on Monday Night Football when I was backing the Texans against the Seahawks and they couldn't score if it meant their lives? And now they come out against, I will admit, a hobbled 49ers defense that, has been put together with duct tape, and the offense has really bailed them out. Finally ran into a team that played well on offense, and the defense for the Texans is just outstanding. Anderson, I mean, he's a force, man. He really is a force on that defensive line. He really gets after the quarterback and disrupts the game. They don't have the quarterbacks on the other team. They don't have time to sit back there and make a sandwich and wait on a receiver to get open. They've got like 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, and if they don't get rid of the ball, one of those guys on the Texans defensive front is going to be up his ass. So somehow, these are the games when the Texans fool me into thinking that they're actually a good team, and then I back them and I end up getting burnt. So I've already crossed the Seattle off because I have had a terrible read on the Seahawks this season. If I bet against them, they lose, or they win, and if I bet against them, they win, whatever it is, and if I bet with them, they lose. So I've marked them off, and I might have to put the Texans on that list because, once again, I'm 1 week behind with this team, where I'm backing them last week. They lose on Monday night to Seattle, can't cover the spread, and then this week they win outright. This was a very equal game, too. I mean, it was only a 1.5 point spread. It moved in the market. I think it was 2.5 by closing, but there was almost 3,000 entries on this game, and there was only 68 difference between the two, 68 entries. So that's pretty good. Basically 1,500 on each side. Pretty good. Bucks and Saints. Bucks just beat them down New Orleans pulled Spencer Rattler. Tampa Bay was also another top 5 selection that got the job done for everybody. I'm glad I wasn't on the Saints. I said that when it moved, it was 4.5 in the market. When the lines came out, it was 3.5. I said, nope, I'm not getting fooled by that one. If I'm not getting the 4.5, which it wouldn't have covered anyway, thank goodness I didn't want it. And so, yeah, who knows what's going to, now the Saints haven't announced who their quarterback's going to be for this upcoming week. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Cowboys and Broncos. Broncos got it done for us. We were on the Broncos. They were the popular side, but there was not a whole lot more, considering there was 1,200 on the Cowboys and 1,450 on the Broncos. A popular game on both sides. But, yeah, they really played well. The defense showed up, but now Patrick Surtain, I think he tore his pec or something like that, but he's out like 4 to 6 weeks. That's a big loss on their defense. That's really going to change this defense that, the secondary being able to cover man-to-man is the reason why they're able to get these sacks a lot of the times. And if they don't have that, this might be a different defense going forward. We might see some regression from the Denver Broncos. Titans and Colts. Man, Colts got it done, didn't they? Boy, they're an unstoppable force. And I said that, I did not want to get in front of this Colts train. And the numbers just now, I think they're on the bye this week, so we won't have to worry about a disgusting number. No, they're not on the bye this week. Who are they playing? Oh, they're playing in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that'll be an interesting line for that game. They're saying -3 for the Colts. I don't know about that, man. I saw this Pittsburgh defense get carved up by Jordan Love. I think he went 20 for 20 in the second half before he had an incompletion, 20 completions. Man, it was just insane. I mean, and he had some floaters too, some games where he just kind of chucked it up there and were able to catch it, able to get it to his man. But damn, I mean, that was something. And then, of course, the Packers and the Steelers. The game that we were on with the Steelers, and yeah, they were winning 16-7 at halftime, and then they get outscored 28-9 in the second half and lose by 10. This is just tough. Too many field goals. They settled for too many field goals, too many penalties that put them in down and distant situations when they got on the Packers side of the field, and they had to settle for those long field goals by Boswell. I mean, Boswell got it done, but you can't win like that. Not against Jordan Love in that offense. And then once you get down and you let Micah Parsons and those guys pin their ears back and go after the quarterback, it was a recipe for a loss. So yeah, that was one of our 2 losses. But again, 3-2 this week. So that is a winner. Winning week. Really would have at least liked a 4-1 if Pittsburgh could have got it done for us. But, what are you going to do? And then the Commanders and the Chiefs. Chiefs get it done, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. Double-digit favorites are double-digit favorites for a reason. If you look at it this week, if you were with a lot of people were on the Colts, so they just weren't. I don't know if that was more of a Colts thing or a Titans thing. But, again, double-digit team getting points on the road, and they're the more popular side, and they don't cover. They lose 28-7. But there was some opportunities there for the Commanders to score some points that they squandered with turnovers. So that's a tough pill to swallow because, that first drive – when they had the interception off Debo's hands, that really mattered. They could have certainly used those 7 points. It would have at least made it a little bit closer going down the stretch there for those who had the 12.5 with Washington. But the final interception there just really put the nail in the coffin for any possibility of a backdoor cover. Tough performance by Mariota. he didn't look very good in that final half of the game last week against Dallas. And yeah, we're starting to see some cracks in the Washington Commanders. Now 1-4 on the road, 3-5 on the season. They're gonna have to. Hopefully, Jaden Daniels will be back, and they can get it together. On to the Survivor. We talked about the Falcons and the Bengals just devastating this competition with with 50% of the field being eliminated. But New England got it done. So did Philadelphia. Buffalo was the easy winner. Chiefs right now had 81 entries on them, and they got it done on Monday night, so they're through. The Bucks got it done, beating up on the Saints. Chargers won on Thursday night. Baltimore, I said when we saw this on Saturday, I wonder how many of these people put this pick in before they knew that Lamar Jackson was out. Well, congratulations, you made a hell of a choice because you just got to use the Ravens and with Snoop Huntley, and you advanced. If you win any portion of that $18.6 million, you should make a donation to the Baltimore Ravens Children Charity or Snoop Huntley's charity, whichever one, something. Broncos, they got it done, beating the Cowboys. I was shocked there was no one on Dallas, but okay. Packers, and then the 49ers entry and the 4 no picks. But yeah, the Falcons and the Bengals, and particularly the Bengals. I mean, the Falcons were almost never in that game. By halftime, it was 17-3. Anyone who was on Atlanta at that point had to have just been like, knew that this was going to happen. But for the Jets to come back and score 23 points in the fourth quarter to win by 1, if you're one of these 765 entries, you're just devastated for the next couple of days, maybe longer. Like, that's just such a horrible way to lose. Like, man, you had it. It was all right there. And all that shit that happened in that game for them to come back. I mean, it's almost as bad as, I don't think anybody was on the Giants last week, but 440 people were on the Denver Broncos last week. If any of them were on the Broncos and on the Bengals this week, you most definitely better make some donations if you win any of that final $18.6 million. That's for sure. Because somebody's looking out for you to do some good with that money. And we got the Grandissimo. 2 entries eliminated on Atlanta. So we are down to 13 entries. There was one on the Chiefs. Had a little bit of a sweat early before the Chiefs finally pulled away and put that game away. Philadelphia was a pretty easy win, and New England was a pretty easy win, as were the Colts. Colts were the most popular team on both Survivor contests, this one and the big Grandissimo. But all right, let's flip on over to week 9, and we'll do a little something on our week 9 slate. Now, obviously, Thursday night football, we've got the Dolphins and the Ravens. Now, this is a big number, man. Miami, coming off a big win in Atlanta, going home. Got Lamar Jackson, should be back for this game. That's what they're saying. He's going to play. So, no surprise that the line is this big. But this is a big number to be laying for a team on the road with a quarterback coming back on his first start after 4 weeks off. Then the spread is 49, and anywhere from 51.5 to 49.5. So I would take the under in this game. I don't know if Baltimore's going to really put up a lot of points, and I don't think Miami will either, but their defense might at least slow down Baltimore for the first half of this game before they actually get going. But yeah, this is a tough matchup because you don't actually know what you're going to get from Lamar, and to lay that big number on Thursday night. And what have we seen? Big favorites on Thursday night football are like death sentences because the game plans that go into these games are so limited. They have such little bit of time to actually get ready and get healthy. So And who knows what Miami's like after getting that win? I'm sure they celebrated in South Beach when they got back home from Atlanta. Not that long of a flight, so I'm sure there was some partying going on. And now they got to get up and ready and try to play a game on Thursday Night Football. But we will be live streaming that game on right here on Dead Money Sports, the Thursday Night Football game. And we'll be going over the Week 9 Circa line release. So be sure to join us right here on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live and you know when I upload the videos. I'm doing not only the NFL contest show upload as its own standalone, but also clips from the shows of each of the games that we like. So be sure to hit that notification bell. This is a good game, even though it's not two good teams. We've got that fishy 2.5 line again, the most popular one, and it's Chicago and the Bengals. Bengals coming off that devastating loss against the Jets with the squandering that big lead, giving up 23 points in the fourth quarter. Watching the end of the World Series here. It's the 9th inning, tied 5-5, Game 3. Been a hell of a game. Shohei Ohtani's just been going off this game. But yeah, this game here with the Bengals, I originally liked the no, this wasn't in one of my original top 5. But I like Chicago to win this game. Of course, that 2.5 line is always fishy. And look at the total, 52.5. I think Chicago's defense isn't that bad. And Caleb Williams, I don't know. He makes some mistakes, but he also makes some good plays. Flacco in this Bengals offense, you do have 2 good wide receivers, but Flacco, who knows, he can turn the ball over with the best of them. So I would probably take the under in this game. I'll have to look a lot more into it, and obviously we got to watch for the injury report to see who's in, who's out, because we've got some teams with some serious injuries to key players. So, and we're not using the Thursday night game almost 100%. There's only 4 teams on the bye, so we've got 14 games to choose from. Well, I'll squelch that. We don't have 14 games to choose from because the Atlanta Falcons versus the New England Patriots will not be making the card this week, as I've said. And I probably will not touch Seattle, Washington, because I cannot figure out for the life of me which side to be on with the Seattle Seahawks. I should just bet with them because that would be the more smart play. But yeah, here we are, the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots. Falcons getting 5.5 on the road, going up to New England, outdoors, in the elements. Who's playing quarterback? Probably Penix. Cousins looked like crap last week. But I still don't trust this offense in the red zone. Mike Vrabel, to me, is the best coach when it comes to game-by-game strategies of how to, again, make a team play left-handed like he did just this past week for us against the Cleveland Browns. That was one of our 3 wins in Week 8. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't get behind this Falcons team after what I've seen. And, again, I'll tell you, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. I told you last week I hated the spot with the Miami Dolphins. There was no way in hell you would get me to lay 7.5 points with Atlanta in that position. And they lost outright by 24 points. If I wasn't such a stubborn, pig-headed person and would have said, oh, well, maybe Atlanta will win but not cover, I could have backed Miami. But I hate rooting against my team to the point where I just left it off altogether. But I knew that was an ugly spot. And this has the same smell to it. It smells like rotten chicken. So they're barbecue overcooked, burnt right now. That bird got burnt last week by the Miami Dolphins. So there's no way I can go in and confidently back Atlanta against this New England Patriots team. Totals at 45 to 45.5. It opened up at 44.5, so they're expecting a little bit of scoring. And Atlanta lost some more guys on defense. So who knows how that's going to be? Is Drake London going to be back? I think so. He makes a big difference, though. I will say, he makes a big difference. You saw how much their offense missed him last week against the Dolphins, but they just looked horrible in that game. So this will not be on the card one way or the other. I can tell you that much. Chargers and Titans, man. Titans getting 9.5. Total of 43.5 to 42.5, and you know you can get 10.5 out there. It looks like with the Titans, but who knows what it's going to be in the contest. But this is just an ugly spot because again, I've said it before. I think the Titans are going to have more ATS covers than straight up wins, and this could be one of those games. I mean, the Chargers defense looked really good on Thursday night, but that was against the Minnesota Vikings team, who now we know that Carson Wentz has been playing with a pretty torn up non-throwing arm in his whole side over there. So he was, I don't know if he was doped up on pain meds or what, but he didn't look good. And now I think he might be done for the year, having to have surgery after this past game where he got beat up. So I don't know what to do with this Chargers game. I would probably take the over 42.5 because the Chargers will probably put up some points, and I think the Titans might even get some garbage time points that get you over this number. They're throwing the ball around a lot. That's why Ward's taking so many sacks. But at least they're throwing it. Gives you either an opportunity for them to score or maybe for the defense to score. So take the over. But I don't know about that spread. We'll see where it is on Thursday during the Thursday Night Football watch party and Circa line release show right here on Dead Money Sports, 6 p.m. Pacific. Or no, I'm sorry. It's 5:15 Pacific. We start that show at the start of Thursday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings going to the Lions, heading to Detroit. Lions off the bye, Vikings off a bad loss where Carson Wentz is out. It looks like J.J. McCarthy might be back. Getting 8.5 points with the Vikings. Now this Lions team has just been unbelievable cash register. I had said on Thursday last week that for the Monday night game, I had wanted to use Detroit, but I thought 5.5 might have been too much because there was this opportunity for a backdoor cover, and there was kind of an opportunity for a backdoor cover, but not really because the Lions ended up just handling business, and they've just been printing money for people. So I'm sure going up against J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings here, the Lions are going to be a very popular team. They've been getting it done for people in the Circa Million contest, and I can't see anybody jumping off the train. But does J.J. McCarthy give them a little bit more offense? He wasn't playing that well before the injury. But, I mean, you look at the Vikings, they do have a bunch of very good players on offense, and their defense can play. Is the secondary from the Lions going to be able to have another performance like they did against Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay's beat-up receiving core? Or are they going to struggle against Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, Naylor? They've got Aaron Jones back. This will be his second week back from injury. And a quarterback that's not playing injured. I don't know. I kind of like the Vikings here. I'm probably going to end up regretting it because the Lions have just been a juggernaut, and they've been an ATS machine with Jared Goff and Campbell. But I have a feeling this is going to be very popular in the Circa, and I could look for an opportunity to steal a point here against the popular side. So we're going to take a deeper dive into the Vikings numbers and the Lions numbers, and we might end up on the Vikings for this game. That could be one of our five. Panthers and Packers, man, boy, did the Panthers look bad. Andy Dalton. I mean, it's hard to believe to say that the Panthers looked horrible without Bryce Young, but that's a fact. Now they're going to go up against the Packers team that just got a big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Didn't look very good in the first half, but came out in the second half and just dominated and broke me down. I really thought we had 4-1, and then they just came out and they just couldn't be stopped on offense. Jordan Love in that passing game. Now, the tight ends for the Packers just ate up the Steelers, and that's just been historically Mike Tomlin's Achilles heel on defense. And boy, did they exploit the shit out of it on Monday night or Sunday Night Football. And unfortunately, I had put my picks in on Thursday night. I included the Steelers. I knew that it was going to be popular, which it was. And I said it was a Tomlin rah-rah spot, but I ended up finding out later that it was a really good spot for the tight ends when everybody was talking about the tight end day, National Tight Ends Day. Had I known all that, I probably would have found a different game to use or maybe even back the Packers on that one. So that's a bad one on me. Out of the limited amount of games that we had, I felt like it was a spot for the Steelers, and they had an opportunity, but the Packers look really good. Now they're taking on the Panthers, and it's a big, big number. Another one of these double-digit favorites. And I'll say it again, double-digit favorites are double-digit favorites for a reason, but this could be a different game with Bryce Young. The Panthers haven't been scoring much in the first quarter. I think they've only scored once in the first quarter all year. Packers slow starts in some of their games. They play with their food. We've seen them before. I don't know, man. I've gotten burned with the Panthers. I've also won with the Panthers, so I might have to go back to them if Bryce Young's certainly going to play. He gives them, man, he's so small, though. Like, that pass rush for the Packers could give him trouble. And the total's 44.5 to 45.5. It's right in that middle range. Yeah, I don't know about this one. We'll have to look deeper into that game. I don't have much of an opinion on it right now. Colts and Steelers. Again, what's with this line? The Colts 7-1 going on the road to take on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh that just got beat up in the second half by those very Green Bay Packers. Why is this line so low? What do they think the Steelers are going to do against this Colts offense? And what do they think they're going to do against this Colts defense? Lou Anarumo's got this defense playing really well. It's one of these psychological mind tricks that, like, is it too good to be true? I mean, they just covered a 14-point spread last week. Now they're going up against a team that lost by 10 points at home, and they're only a 3-point favorite? What is this madness? 49.5 total? Another one of these Tomlin rah-rahs, but is this the year that Tomlin has a losing record? Right? I mean, no, none of these things last forever. Are the Colts just that good? Is Shane Steichen and Lou Anarumo really got this team just firing on all cylinders? I say yes. The offensive line and the defensive line for the Colts are better than those of the Steelers. And that's where football games are won and lost. Why is this line only 3? This feels like a trap. Why does this feel like a trap? I mean, it feels like taking the Colts is like stealing, right? So why? And it actually opened at 3.5, and it's gone down to 3. It's a juiced 3 at -115, but still, to come off that key number or come down to that key number. Oh, he's out. He's out. He came off the base. Otani got caught stealing second. He was safe, but he popped up and went off the base. 5-5, bottom of the ninth in Dodger Stadium, man. That place is rocking. Tickets were $700 for the cheapest seats. Yeah, he's out. He had him on the leg. Mm. And the guy didn't even push him. That was his own momentum that took him off the base. He might have been out anyway, but he was definitely out when he came off the base. So this game right here, though, this Colts Steelers game, man, this line just smells of dead fish. Like, what is it about it? Are they just expecting the Colts to just finally lay an egg and lose to the Steelers or win a tight game on the road in Pittsburgh? It's a day game at that. So they're not even going to be well lubricated. I mean, they'll still be well lubricated, the fans in Pittsburgh, but it's nothing like the night game they just played Sunday night, and they lost. They got their asses handed to them. And if you watch the first half, if I'm being completely honest, a lot of what the success of the Steelers had against the secondary of Green Bay were penalties. Like there were a lot of key moments that were, like third downs where they got automatic first downs for illegal contact or pass interference that got them, in position to score, and they were still kicking field goals. I don't know, man. That game's a trap. I would take the under, though, for sure. Because if anything, Tomlin's going to certainly try to slow this game down. They're going to dink and dunk it with Rodgers because Rodgers is going to get the ball out quickly. The pass rush for the Colts, not the best, but they're very good against the run. Secondary is also not the best, but again, they're not a deep passing team with the Steelers. They throw short. Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly. I think that's going to chew up a lot of clock. The Colts like to run the ball. That keeps the clock rolling. I would definitely take the under 49.5 in this game, but the spread has me completely confused. I have no idea why the Colts are such small favorites, which gives me all kinds of reasons and all kinds of alarm bells are going off. 49ers and Giants. Giants lost Cam Scatterboo. That's a big loss for them. He was not only was he their best running back, but he was also their motivator. You know what I mean? He's like almost like the hype man. Like when he All-Star used to be for Tampa Bay. But I wouldn't put him like an All-Star, but when he gets rolling and the defense is watching it for the Giants, that gets them pumped because he's getting first downs on third down. That's keeping them on the bench, letting them rest and get ready, and then they go out there and they're well rested and can get after the other team. So that's just a big loss for them. 49ers, it was Mac Jones again last week. They lost against that very good Texans defense. And I don't think Ricky Pearsall played either, so they were still down a few of their key offensive guys, but it looks like they're going to be back for this game. Again, we're looking at one of these fishy -2.5 lines. Opened at -3.5, gets bet down to -2.5 at some places. You can get a juice 3 out there. But I would go 49ers on this one. Let's not forget Jackson Dart's still a rookie quarterback. I know he looks good, and I think the kid's got talent, and he's going to be probably the franchise quarterback of the Giants for the next 10 years. I mean, he's going to be fucking selling things on Madison Avenue. As long as he plays in New York, he's going to be an advertiser's dream because he's got good looks. But the guy is pretty good right now, but he is still still a rookie quarterback going up against a 49ers team that I think Saleh, he might be able to confuse him. We've seen this 49ers defense put together good game plans even without their top two guys in Bosa and Fred Warner now. I don't know where the offense is going to come for the Giants with now Scatterboo out. I mean, who is it? Tracy is going to be their number one running back. And the 49ers will have some of their other guys back on offense. They still got McCaffrey. They've got Kittle back. Juwan Jennings has been playing through injury, and they should have Pearsall back because he's been out a few weeks. And every week they keep saying he might play. This has got to finally be the week where he actually makes it back and starts. And we've seen some of their other guys contributing. I think it was Tongs Tungus or whatever, their backup tight end, caught a touchdown on tight ends day. So yeah, I would lay it -2.5. Give me San Francisco on the road. Kyle Shanahan historically has been a better coach against the spread on the road than he is at home. Under a field goal, I think the 49ers win this game outright, with the total being at 40, between 49.5, 48.5. But I like if you can find it at 49.5, I'll take that under. Give me that under. Two teams that are going to want to run the ball, slow it down. They're not going to be taking deep shots. This is not two high-powered offenses. I don't see them getting to 50 points. So, yeah, this is like a 24-14, 24-17 game, 23-17, something like that. Give me the 49ers and the under. Broncos and Texans. Texans just beat up on that very San Francisco 49ers team at home with their outstanding defense, now taking on the Broncos, who just lost one of their best players in Patrick Surtain for up to 6 weeks. Between 4 and 6, I believe, is what it was. But he's out. He's out for a little while here. And, I mean, we really saw them exploit that weak Cowboys defense. That is not what they're going up against in this Texans team. But I will say one thing. This Texans team, their defense commits a lot of penalties. But so do the Broncos. The Broncos secondary commits a lot of penalties. We saw that in that game against Dallas. They kept, who was it, Riley Moss. They just kept going at him. And one of the podcasts that I follow had talked about how that reffing group called those penalties at a high rate, and we saw it with that Denver Broncos team. So we need to keep an eye on that because they commit a lot of pass interference, holding or illegal contact, and holding on the defense. The Broncos do. So keep an eye on who the referee crew is. That could play a key in this game. And this line, look at it. You could get +1 with the Texans in some places, +1.5 with the Broncos in some places. So essentially the same line the Texans had against the 49ers last week. The minimum home field advantage is what they're getting in the total of 39.5. So not expecting a high-scoring game, even with this Broncos team that's been able to put up some big numbers the last couple weeks. They're not expecting much from the Broncos offense. They think the Texans defense is going to be able to hold them down. And the offensive line for the Texans is still not good. And this Broncos team has some of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I think they lead the league in sacks. As a team, this is a toughie. Broncos got it done for us last week. I don't know. I would probably take the Broncos. I can't take that Texans offense. Again, 1 week does not make a season. Playing against a hobbled 49ers defense that had been duct taping together their defense to get some wins they probably shouldn't have had. Now they're going up against a real defense, a defense that's going to make C.J. Stroud uncomfortable. Who's he throwing the ball to? I know Patrick Surtain is out, but this defense is still pretty decent. I like the Broncos in the points. Give me the Broncos in the points and the under. I don't think the Texans score more than 13 points in this game. 2 field goals and a touchdown. Saints and Rams. Who's the quarterback going to be for New Orleans? We don't even know. Puka's back. Tutu Atwell's on IR. That sucks. He's a pretty good third receiver when they go into that formations, when they have 3 wideouts on the field. This is a tough game. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other because I don't know who's playing for New Orleans. Is he going to go for home? He's going home. And he is out by a mile. Wow. I got to give it to him, though. He tried to go from first to third. The Toronto Blue Jays player, I don't know who that was. And Hernandez picked it up for the L.A., relayed it in. And he was toast, man. He was way out. What a play. What a World Series, man. We're going to extra innings now. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the 10th inning, or the top of the 10th. We're going to the bottom of the 10th. So if the Dodgers score, they'll win and they'll be up 2-1. What a play. What a play. I mean, there was two outs. I understand why he tried to make it home, but boy, he was toast. He was so far out that the catcher caught the ball, turned, tagged the ground. He wasn't there yet, and he had to readjust to actually tag the guy out because he wasn't there yet. He missed with the original swipe because he hadn't reached the home plate yet. Yeah, this Saints, Rams, and L.A. Look at L.A. right now with the Rams and the Rams playing well and the Dodgers in the World Series. They're a great fan base. I have no idea what we're doing with this Saints Rams game. We don't know who's playing for the Saints. Are they going to start trading away some of their key guys like Calvin or Alvin Kamara and Rashid and Olave? I know they just came out and announced that they're not, but you never know. You know, teams, they say that, and then the next thing you know, Micah Parsons is on the Packers. So we'll see what's this going on with this game. I mean, it's opened at 9.5. It's at 13.5. I just want nothing to do with this game, side or total. Same thing with this one. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, they've burned me and they've won for me this year. I just don't know what to make of this team. They look good at times and they look horrendous at times. But then they're going up against the Raiders who've, I don't know if they're quitting on their coach or what, but I don't know what's going on in Vegas. They're just not very good. Geno Smith's playing horrendous. I don't know if he's going out because he's in Vegas or what, but something's going on. I mean, he is a 30-something-year-old, usually backup quarterback that had a good season in Seattle. Now they're +3 at home. I don't know. I don't want anything to do with Jacksonville, and I don't want anything to do with the Raiders. 45.5. I would probably go under, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be on any side on this game because Jacksonville's burned me too many times when they've had opportunities to play well, and the Raiders have looked horrible, and I don't know what you're gonna get from them effort wise. So unless there's absolutely no other options available, this game will not be making my Circa card. And like I said, I would probably take the under 45.5, but what an ugly game. Chiefs and Bills. Now here we're talking. Chiefs, big win. Monday Night Football covered the big number, 12.5. Going up to Buffalo now to take on the Chiefs, and they are road favorites, -1.5. This game, every year when they play each other, is a popular game in the contest. There's usually 1,000 selections on either side because the line is always very tight. It's very, very small where you have to pick essentially which team's going to win. But I don't think I can bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's going to carve up this Bills defense. Yeah, they look good against Andy Dalton. But how'd they look against Michael Penix in the game before that when they lost? Yes, James Cook looked really good against a Carolina defense that could not and has not really stopped the run all year. So I think the Chiefs are the second best team right behind the Lions. And actually, I'd probably say the Chiefs are the best team right now because of the injuries to Detroit's secondary. I think eventually that's got to catch up with them. I don't think it's going to last, but they're going to lose at least a game. But the Chiefs right now, not only are they playing outstanding football, they are healthy. Patrick Mahomes is putting up, big numbers. They're covering big spreads. I'm riding with the Chiefs. And this game probably goes over. Again, Patrick Mahomes putting up a lot of points. The Bills putting up a lot of points. Give me the over 51.5. And give me the Chiefs. I probably won't use this on the card, but I'll probably have some money on this game simply because I'm gonna, enjoy watching this one. It's in the afternoon slate, so there's only a few games on, and that's gonna be the game of the week. Obviously, with the Jags and Raiders and the Saints and Rams. I mean, they're not really giving us a whole lot of other great games to watch in that slate. So, yeah, this will be on the big screen, and I'll probably just have these guys over on Red Zone or some shit if I'm even watching them, because I know I'm not going to have any. Neither one of these games are making the Circa card, so I'll have some money on the Chiefs, and I'll probably bet the over if I can. I'll wait. Let's see. It's so opened up at 48.5. It's been bet all the way up to some places 52.5. Maybe let's see if it goes back down, if we can get a better number. But I like the over in that game. It'll be a fucking 17-13 game. Watch. Seattle and Washington. Washington lost tonight. Mariota did not play well. Teams struggled with turnovers. Some of that wasn't Marcus Mariota's fault, but all in all, he did not play well either. They should have Jaden Daniels back, which makes them a different team. Going up against the Seattle Seahawks team that has been playing lights out. Their defense is phenomenal. Mike McDaniels must be a genius as a defensive coordinator because he seems to completely confuse the quarterbacks that he's up against. The last 2 weeks, he's shut down the other team's offenses. Will they be able to do it against the Commanders, who are struggling right now? Probably. Seattle on the road has been better with Mike McDaniels as a coach against the spread. Sam Darnold's playing outstanding. Jackson Smith and Jigba's been playing at an elite level, offensive player of the year caliber. Yeah, give me the -3 with the Seahawks. Think they're going to come out flat after the bye? I don't. And I'll take the over 45.5. This will be a backdoor cover by Washington. We've seen Seattle give up some points to teams late in games. And the Monday night game. Arizona, again, another team coming off the bye. Oh, excuse me. Take it out of the Cowboys. The Cowboys that just lost to Denver got beat up pretty good. Their defense played not well. They really got run against. Arizona just cut one of their running backs, Bam Knight. So I don't know exactly who's playing for them at running back. Is it going to be Kyler? Is it going to be Brisket? Is it going to be Jacoby? Jacoby got it done for us before the bye. They didn't win, but they covered that 6.5-point spread against Green Bay. They're 3-point dogs on the road in Dallas. I'm taking the Cowboys. Give me the -2.5. I'll eat the cheese. That -2.5 that's in the box with the stick and the rope. Give me the Cowboys -2.5 to bounce back at home against the Cardinals defense. It's been semi-good against the run. Been okay, but this offense has struggled. Let's see who's playing to be sure. Man, this Cowboys offense is bad, though. But Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are incredible. Dak's playing really well. I mean, he still had a great game against Denver. It's just they couldn't stop the running game. And a few turnovers in that game cost them some extra points, made that score look more inflated than it really was. And look at this total, 54.5. Wow. They're not expecting any defense in this game. Give me the Cowboys. If it's a shootout, give me the Cowboys. If they expect this many points, give me the team that I know will put up a big number, because I don't know what I'm going to get from Arizona's offense, but I know I'm getting 28 to 31 points from Dallas's offense. So I know they only scored 22 last week, but I think without the turnovers, it's a different game. So Give me Dallas minus the 3. Well, all right. So that is the lines for week 9. My first glance here on Dead Money Sports, the late night lounge. We are once again going live Thursday night for the Thursday night football game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins, and we will have the Week 9 Circa Lines release where we'll have our first thoughts on the game, and I'll probably have a few of my I should have my 5 selections by then, and obviously I'll put them out on Thursday with any changes that come on the Saturday show being updated by then, but the original 5 that I will more than likely go with will be releasing on Thursday during the Thursday night football game and posting the video for the NFL contest show right here on Dead Money Sports. But again, we were a winner last week in week 8, 3-2. We are 12-8 on the second quarter with one more week to go. No chance in cashing this time. And we are 23-17 on the season. We are right around 400th position, 2 points behind the money. We really need to have another winning week, preferably 5-0 in week 9 after the midway point. I would like to be at 30 points. Obviously, mathematically, that's not possible, but being at 28 points would be really phenomenal. But so we will be, again, coming to you live Thursday night. But so that is my first thoughts for the week 9 lines here on Late Night at the Lounge. I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you followed my week 8 picks, hopefully you had some winners. Join me Thursday night as we will be live streaming during the Thursday night football game with our NFL contest line release show. Well, that is the end of the stream. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I'm gonna finish watching the Game 3 of the World Series. I hope everybody had some winners tonight, had some winners this week, and joins me on Thursday. Good luck to everyone, and have a good night.